All right. I want to thank Atomy Singapore for giving me this opportunity to share this time with you. I have been away for a short time. I was in Singapore since August the 1st. So it's been a long time I've been here. So people ask me, why come here for such a long time? I was only here in February this year, and this is the first time out of my 30 over years of being overseas that I've come back twice in 1 year. So yeah, I come back is because of the very good reason is Atomy. And I'd like to share with you part of my own experience. I've been a banker in Canada for over 20 years. My beginning job with the bank was as a financial advisor. You know those guys, right? Financial advisors. How many here are financial advisors? No one? So all of you can see me, give me your money. And I'll make you some money. The financial advisor, what they do is they try to sit down with you and help you to prepare for your retirement. If you have never done that, you should really try that. But today I'm just going to talk about whether any of you are ever ready for your retirement. How many of you are confident? I see quite a lot of people around my age. We are either retired or we are not retired. But retirement is something that most of the young people don't think about. Most of us, when we reach this age, don't want to think about it because we are worried whether what will happen. So let's take a look first of all. What is retirement to you? See the bottom two pictures. Is retirement going to be some place where you're going to be lying down in a hospital bed? Or would you be the healthy one? The group of ladies there that's in the pool doing the exercise? Or would you just be sitting by the beach and looking at the ocean? Or else, you may still want to do a job. In this case, be a greeter in this case, it was Best Buy, which is an electronic company in US. Is this what retirement all about? This is a survey by NTUC Income. It just came out on August 28. And what it says here is that, first of all, they did a sample size of 400 parents and 200 youth. This is Singapore's data, not US. If I share with you US data, it's even scarier than this. Okay, so US data, be prepared. Only 12% of US people have saved enough for their retirement. Only 12%. That's trouble, right? And US has quite a number of citizens there. Singapore is a little bit better. 67% of parents expect to outlive their income. So at least 33% feel they can survive their retirement, right? What do you mean by outlive your income? How many years did we go to school for? 30 years. Roughly, it took us 30 years to prepare for your career. Am I right? So those who go to overseas study, do their degrees and degrees and degrees, 30 years later, you think you're prepared for the work environment. You step out. And then after that, how long do you work for? Another 30 years. And then you want to retire at 60. And how long will you live? How long more will you live? Nowadays, another 30 years is no issue. If you reach 65, you're going to have another probably more time to live. So the longer you live, the more money you need. What everyone in US, in Canada worry about, when I do financial advisor for people in Canada, the one thing they are worried about is that they do not have enough money to live on. And then in the Singapore survey, you also find that parents are only able so far with CPF. So Singapore has a mandatory saving scheme, right? For everyone, at least if you are an employee. Only 35% of them, have only been able to set aside 35% of what they need for retirement. So everyone wants an income of around $3,000 a month. But everyone has only been able to save enough for $1,000 a month. Is that scary? It's scary. And the other thing is, even the young people, when they were surveyed, they say that they are worried whether they can continue to support their parents. Okay, never mind in Canada and US. If you know about Canada, US, I don't do it, but a lot of other Canadians and Americans, what they do, 18 years old, they tell the kid, you're adult, you leave the house. You don't stay with me anymore. Now, they're finding it very hard to get the kid out of the door. Why? Because they realize that if they step out of the house, they are going to have to spend a lot of money. So they are becoming smart now. The younger kids are saying, no, Mom and Dad, I'm not leaving. I'm staying for as long as I can. So you remember the film that was called The 40-Year-Old Virgin? You don't remember that show? I don't know whether it was shown in Singapore or not. But that show showed a trending thing. 40-year-olds are not leaving their house. Because I get free food, free lodging, my mom cooks good food. Why do I want to go anywhere else? So children are afraid that they may not be able to support their parents. 66% of parents are actually worried about their retirement fund. But the retirement fund is not the biggest problem. The bigger problem is the medical bills. Am I right? Canada is a different country. We actually have free medical. Well, not free. We pay through it through our taxes. That's why if I make $50,000, half of my income goes to income tax. Why? Pay for my medical expenses. That is the healthcare we got in Canada. So by the time I reach 65, the government tells me that I will get free medicine as well, not just consultation. I can go and see a doctor free. So one of the things that we have a problem with healthcare in Canada is that the older people sees 10 doctors for different opinions, but they still don't know what to do with them. And that's one problem with healthcare. Finally, in the Singapore survey, they say that the younger people, 70% of them actually believe that they are going to have to cut down their lifestyle to be able to support their parents. That is a survey that recently published in your newspaper. I think it's the Straits Times on August 28. If that's the case, then I ask all of you, are you ready for retirement? Are your parents, if you are young, ready for retirement? What is retirement in the past? Used to be this. In the Chinese culture, I see a lot of Orientals here. Most of us, what do? If your parents own a business, what age does your parents retire? Really early, actually, because they will hand over the business to the children and let the children take over. And then the parents actually sit back. Of course, like your great Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew never let go. Hold on to it to make sure things keep running. That's what the parents could do in the old days, right? As a child, I would be able to take over my parents' business. But if I don't, then what do? Parents want to take care of the children for as long as possible. That's what we try to do. At least Oriental parents wants to do that. And a lot of European parents does the same thing. We want to be able to have a last will and testament and leave something for our children. Is that still true now? Can it be done? Is this his son? Really? Is this guy trying to leave money for his son or his grandson? Sometimes we have problems with our own children. But when the grandchildren comes along, it's a different story. You don't have to take care of them. You can play with them as much as you want and then send them back. Then they want to leave something for the grandchildren. Is that a possibility? If we all can't save for our retirement, can we leave anything else for our grandchildren? So in all of us here, everyone wants to give something to your child. What is it that you want to give? First of all, an education. I believe every parent here wants to ensure that their children at least have an education. Is it getting cheaper to go to university? To go to polytechnic? It's no longer cheap. I used to be a Singaporean, so when I went to school that time, I remember my mom still has to pay $7 a month for education. Canada, education is free. But we can only provide them, the country will provide you education until you are 18. So when you finish your pre-university here. And then that's it. Education is something you want to give your child to the maximum that they can go. University cost is getting really, really expensive. So, is there something you want to give? What else? How many of you want to give your children a car? I was very fortunate. When I graduated, came back to Singapore after my graduation, my dad actually gave me a car. So that was great. I felt really, really good. He gave me a car. And I wanted to do the same thing. But Singapore, can you give a car to your child now? Maybe you can give them the COE. Nah. At least that would help, right? Give them the COE, give the money to pick up the COE, and then they have to look after the car themselves. What else? Do you want to give a house to your children? An apartment? If you listen to Mr. Park's speeches, he says every parent should be able to afford to give a house, not an apartment, one house to one child. If you can't do that, you're failing your children. That's his idea. That's one of the reasons why he started Atomy. And I'll continue later on to share with that. Or would you like to leave a business for your children? How about being able to leave an international business, a worldwide business for your children? Would you like that? And finally, your grandchildren. This picture, by the way, was picked by two kids when they saw this picture. They said, you got to put that up because it shows us as grandchildren with our grandparents who wants to give us everything. If you want to give your grandchildren stuff, could you do it right now in this position that you're in? But all these things you want to give requires two things. This thing called money, and you need health. It's no point to get old and have all the money in the world but have no health. It's no point to be healthy when you're old and have no money. Both are not good. We need both of them, money and health. Health and wealth are two key things that we need. So what can you do? This little cartoon says, I can get retrained. I think Singapore has a program for retraining everyone now. When I get laid off from my current job, I get retraining allowance to go for retraining. How many retrainings will you do? Okay, retraining is one thing. What else can you do? Just give up. That's what life is all about. I'm not going to care about my future. I don't care anything. And that's one of the things why some retired people, older people, when they get sick and so on, what do? There has been statistics shown in Canada and US among the doctors that a lot of seniors, what they do, they all go on cruises. How many of you love to go cruising? No one? Come on, only one? All right, so what do these seniors do when they go on the cruise? They eat. They really eat. But that's not the thing. A lot of cases unreported, but the doctors know. A lot of seniors will just go on the cruise ship. Halfway during the cruise, they don't stay on the ship anymore. That is a true fact. Why? Because nobody needs to worry about what happens to them. They just disappear off the cruise ship somewhere in the deep ocean. That is something that seniors are doing right now. Just give up. My children don't have to worry about me, especially if they are not healthy. Guess what? I don't want to burden my children with my health problem. My doctor just told me I had cancer. I'm going to have to go through this. I have only 6 months to live. What would you do? They go on a cruise ship and they disappear. You can do that. You can do that as retirement. Is that worth it? What else can you do then? You can be like this gentleman here and do Atomy. Now, this probably doesn't depict everything about Atomy, but you can see Atomy logo on the computer there. Now, why Atomy? Why am I doing Atomy? I am a banker in Canada. I've done banking for many years. I've helped people do their retirement planning. I've moved into head office, work in the banking head office in Canada. I step out now. Why do I want to do Atomy? Because it offers a hope, not only for me, but for all my friends who are at my age. All those that are younger who wants to live a different life. I believe that Atomy is your answer to the retirement problem. And what is the first thing? First retirement problem is health. Atomy can help you with that. The second retirement problem is wealth. Atomy can help you with that. Your third problem is purpose. Do you have a purpose when you retire? One of the things I've been going around asking a lot of my friends is, what do you want to do after your retirement? You know what they tell me, first of all? Stevie, I'm going to travel around the world. I say, great. How long are you going to do that for? I don't know. Okay, is 3 years enough for you to travel around the world? I say, probably 3 years. So I asked them, what happens after the 3 years? What are you going to do at the end of those 3 years? Never thought of it. Okay, you need to plan for your retirement. So a purpose is what you need. The third problem about Atomy is you want to travel around the world. But can you travel as a vacation? I'll explain what vacation is later on. We all go for vacations. How about a vacation? Finally, one of the problems is you want to pass something on to your people. Atomy can give you a business that you can pass on to 3 generations. Is that good? I think that's great. So let's see how it does. Health. What is the main problem with all of us? Your immune system. I'll tell you that first of all. So if all of you sitting here hasn't been introduced to HemoHim, one of the products we didn't talk about, but you should recognize that product. If you have not ever tried HemoHim, I suggest you should try it. There's only one big side effect to taking HemoHim. Okay? There's one big side effect. You live too long. That you don't need to worry about your retirement. Because instead of living to 83, which is the average lifespan of Singaporeans now, you could live to 120. That means you have 60 years to worry about the income. Okay? So that's the only problem. If you take HemoHim, you may live a long time. But because you're taking HemoHim, you're probably in Atomy. And if you persist in Atomy, you are about $50,000 every month. Let me go back. Household products is one thing that causes your health, that affects your health, that we never think about. Did you know that one of the most poisonous things that is in your household that you use regularly is your laundry detergent? You know how much chemicals there are? In Canada, when we build a house, it is required for the laundry room where we wash our laundry to have a vent that directs to the outside air. And we are required to turn that on. We are advised to turn that on every time we wash our clothes. Why? Because laundry detergent gives off very strong poisonous air. It pollutes the air around you. And so therefore, you need to find alternatives, at least for your health. Chairman talks about toothpaste just now. Did you know that statistics have shown that when they did autopsy of people who died, whether it's natural or not natural, whether they died of a heart attack or cancer, they found what? They found a virus, a bacteria that originates from your mouth. In every case that they died, that they open up for autopsy. So that means the germs in your mouth migrates into your heart, into your lungs, into your liver, and it could impact you. That's why you need an antibacterial toothpaste. That's why we have propolis in our toothpaste. So natural organic household products are very important for your health. Not just what you take in, it's what you are using is just as important. Prevention from carcinogenic substances that are in all the other products. What does Atomy offer you? Natural products, products made from natural ingredients. The key for Atomy products is environmentally friendly, plus as natural as possible. That's what Atomy tries to give us. Finally, your health begins with a good mindset and a purpose of what you want to do. If you don't have a good mindset and you don't have purpose, you don't go very far. That's why I love what Caroline shared just now. Cherish the spirit. When you do that, your mindset changes, your heart changes, and life becomes worth living. That's what I hope all my friends will do. So health is the first thing Atomy can resolve for you. The second thing, wealth. To be able to get a pension income of $50,000 a month. Is that good? Is that enough? So let's translate this to $50,000 a month. I'm not even going to make it $50,000. I'm going to say if every day your bank account tops up with $1,500, so $1,500 every day, will you feel happy? You don't have to worry whether you're going to be sick, whether you have to go to work or not. Every day, $1,500 goes into your account. Is that okay? Can you spend that $1,500? Because you will spend it all, and you can spend it all because the next day it's in your account again. And the next day. And this is only $1,500. It's less than $15,000 a month. Do your math and do your multiplication. But if that is what you can get from Atomy, will you now be able to help your children to buy the house? Will you be able to set aside? If you make $50,000 a month, can you set aside $2,000 a month, give to your children for a house? Enough to pay their mortgage or whatever else you need to pay? Wealth. What you need is great partners to work with you. In Atomy, Carol shared that we don't just sign people up. We're building partners. People who will work with you. People who will just walk beside you and you walk beside them. And you both get rich together. Is that a good feeling? Better than being a boss and telling people what to do. Now they work together with you. Just international business. Atomy allows you to build this business worldwide. How many countries is Atomy in now? 12 countries. Can anyone in those 12 countries be part of your team? Do what they buy or the points that they collect, will it count towards your income? Yes. That's an international business. You can build this business in any country Atomy is going to open. Where is Atomy targeted to open in 2019? China. How many population in China? 1 billion? Forget about the 1.3. Just say 1 billion. Now, when I was young, someone asked me, why don't you go into China market? I said, that's a great idea. China market is fantastic. Because in my mind, if I could sell ice cream in China and just earn 10 cents for every stick of ice cream I sell, I would be a rich man. Would I be? I don't need 1 billion to buy. If 1 billion people buy from me, I'm pretty good. If 10 million, a little bit better. 1 billion, eat and eat also, I cannot finish the money, right? So China is a big market. It is there. Can you build your business there? You certainly can. Because Atomy sets up the platform for you to do that. So we resolved the wealth problem. What about purpose? This is my purpose. Before, when I came back to Singapore, I just came back to visit my relatives, see my sisters. When my parents were alive, I came back to see them. Now, I have more than that. I have a purpose. What is my purpose? To help everyone here to know more about Atomy. Number one. Number two, I want my friends to be able to join me on that cruise ship. Right? You want to travel with your friends or you want to travel with your enemies? I want to travel with friends. Friends that share the same mindset. If all of us have the same Atomy motto in our hearts, would you travel with fun, enjoy? I saw all the Korea trips that all these people go together. Why do you think we could go together as one group? Because we share the same heart mindset. That makes it possible and fantastic just to have a purpose in life. Now you have a full purpose because now you have a purpose to be able to help people to succeed, to grow. One of the first things I learned when I first came out to work, one elderly gentleman told me, Stevie, it's always good to be able to give to people. Giving is good, but he says it's better not just to give people fishes. I can give everyone fishes that I see on the road that doesn't have anything. What happens when I stop giving? They have no more food. He told me it's better for you to teach everyone how to fish. Will you all teach people how to fish using Atomy as your tool? That's what that is. That's your purpose, helping others to succeed. Paycation. This last 2 years has been great for me coming back to Singapore because I came here not just for leisure, but for business. When I came here, I got paid as well. So when I left Canada, someone asked me, so is your business in Canada going to slow down? I said, I shouldn't have. It shouldn't even slow down at all. In fact, when I came here, my volume grew even faster. How? I have no real idea how. All I know was that even while I was traveling, my business continued to succeed because Atomy is worldwide. You get paid even while you are traveling. And the great thing about this is when I went into Kuala Lumpur this time, I went in to visit the Kuala Lumpur Atomy, they took care of me. They took care of us to the point that I ended up putting on a little too much kilograms because there's a lot of food to eat. People who will show you what the country is like for them. That's the best tour guides you can ever have. So vacation, would you like that in your retirement? And finally, a business for 3 generations. So how does it work in Atomy? For those who are first time here today, once you become an Atomy member, you get an ID. That one ID, when I die, I give that ID over to my son. He may not have done this business at all. He has no interest in it. But when I pass the ID to him, when I am already making $50,000 a month, that $50,000 a month income will automatically go to him. And then he can pass that on to his son. 3 generations of income. It lasts forever. Because my son, I believe, after I made it to 50,000 a month, he will join Atomy. It may take him another 4 years, but he will regret it at that time and say, why didn't I join you earlier? But that's what he will do. And he will build his own business. And he will pass down to another 3 generations. So what if you have more than 1 child? Too bad lah. You got to divide that between 2 or 3 or 4. What if you have no children? What can you do with these 3 generations? Help any foundation. Start your own foundation. I could call it Stevie's Foundation, like Bill Gates' Foundation, and have that money to carry on for 3 generations of helping change the world. Is that a goal? Is that a purpose? So I conclude by asking you again, are you ready for your retirement? Have you done any estate or retirement planning? If you haven't, find a financial advisor, at least to know how much you need. But if you tell him, say, I'm going to make $50,000 a month in 10 years' time, he will say, I can't help you, you better help yourself. But that's okay, you have Atomy. You have enough money to live for another 30 years at least through Atomy. At least. Then you can leave a great legacy for your children and your grandchildren. And finally, through using of Atomy products, you're going to help to leave behind a healthier and environmentally better world than what we came into. Because I believe that when everyone uses Atomy products in the end, in the whole world, our environment will change. Are you aware that every single Atomy product container is recyclable? If you don't know that, then you have been throwing your garbage into the wrong place. Put your Atomy containers into a recyclable, because that's what it's made for. And we are made of natural ingredients as much as possible. And even someone told me about skincare. I got to comment on this. They say, Stevie, but your skincare has acid in it. I say, sure, it has to have acid. Do you know why? Because we use fermentation. What does fermentation produces? Acid. So of course we have to list acid, otherwise we are lying, right? We are telling you that, ours don't have acid. But we say we use fermentation. Okay, fermentation. And you use citrus. Like all our stuff smells orangey. If there's citrus, there's acid. We cannot deny that. That's why don't worry about everything you read. Find out what it is before you do. So, you really need to consider for your retirement, for your future, even if you are young now, you should start with Atomy now. At least use Absolute, if not anything. Stay looking 30 all the years through. And make your schoolmates, when you go for reunion, you're still the youngest there. How would you like that? Okay, so I do use Absolute. I've been stealing it from my wife's set. The last few years, I've been limited to Skincare 6. I didn't know why. Maybe because I could grow younger than her faster. But Absolute is something that you guys should just use it. If you want to, you know why you need to take care of men especially? Do you know why you need to use skincare? Your face is the first impression. The moment not only women look at you, right? Guys will look at you. They look at you and they say, this guy looks old, looks wrinkled. And then the face always scowling because never happy, right? They look at you and they say, I don't want to deal with this guy. Scary guy. But if you look young, lively, like Chairman, you can dance. If you can do that, life is great. So truly, all of you, you really need to consider Atomy. If you're new here today, I challenge you to check out this company in detail. the person who brought you here or the person who invited you here will be more than happy to give you some information. And remember, we don't want you for anything else other than to be able to use great products. Help us build a better environment for our future. And at the same time, use absolute products at absolute price. So thank you very much.